again there, my friends. Welcome to the Mirrorsphere. This is Dan, your host. Today I want to talk a little bit about the rumors Overlord DVD, also known as Doomcock, has talked about how Disney, you got some rumors. I want to say these are rumors, so take them with a grain of salt. As he always says, he had a source, unnamed. I'm not dogging on him. I respect the man very greatly, for a lot of his stuff actually comes true. If this is the same source as before, it could be believable that in Lucasfilm right now there's a massive civil war pretty much going on. You have the Lucas loyalists, the people who believe in the old Star Wars, who love what George Lucas built. And then you have Kathleen Kennedy, or I should say Karen Kennedy, and her fucking piece of shits, who despise everything that came before it. They want to turn Star Wars into their own political agenda. And they have destroyed literally everything Disney stood for. Or not Disney, I'm sorry. Star Wars and Lucasfilm stood for. I was one of those, when Disney bought Lucasfilm, I had high hopes that we were going to see the EU come to life. The actual true Star Wars from the books on the big screen. Unfortunately, Kathleen Kennedy didn't give a shit. She didn't want to do her homework. She didn't hire people based on their knowledge of Star Wars or their love of the franchise. She hired people because of what was in their pants. And she hired them only because of their political meaning. And the people who stayed are the people who pretty much got on their knees and obeyed her every command. And yeah, so now we have probably some of the worst written characters ever gotten in a franchise. Between Rey, Kylo, all of them. I'm not attacking the actors and the actresses. I believe that a lot of those actors and actresses could do well in the EU. I think, yeah, they could have. I think they could have been very great, I can't think of the names right now. For some reason, I had them, now I can't remember them. I'm sorry about that. But anyways, yeah. But there are plans that Kathleen Kennedy's time is coming up. I don't know why she got rehired. I think Bob Iger was a fucking moron for allowing her to stay. He should have fired her a long time ago. You can't cost a company this much money and keep your job. They have not gained the money back from you. Good God, if it was me who bought Lucasfilm, I just stuck to the books. Because the books are out there. People know them. People love them. I would have gone out and found the biggest Star Wars fans who knew the most of the lore, hired them to sit down with writers. If they couldn't do the writing themselves, sit down with actual Star Wars writers for, screenwriters, and be like, okay, this is what happens in the book. Have the book on hand so that the screenwriters can look into the book, see what the characters do, and keep the story clean. Yeah, there was some problems in the EU, back and forth, but if you kept the mainstream, you'd have done great. There could have been, and you could have gone back in time with Revan, and you could have gone all those characters. You could have, you could have Jason, Jaina, Takal. You had Mary Jade. You had so many characters, and then all you had to do was keep the original characters to what they were meant to be, instead of destroying their characters so that you can help your characters, which is bullshit. They allowed Ryan Johnson to come in, who was the biggest piece of shit. I don't care what he's done. To come into a franchise like this and be like, you know what, I want to do whatever the fuck I want to, and I'm going to exert expectations by destroying everybody's favorite characters. Yeah, you did a great job. You fucking ruined Star Wars. Congratulations. Congrats. But now there's a rumor out there that after Kathleen Kennedy is gone, they plan on using what happened in Rebels in the 4th season, was this little place where all these mirrors, where the Force meets, all time and space kind of meet. You can go through these little mirrors, and you're able to change the past and the future, stuff like that. I think the concept is kind of fucking stupid. If it was up to me, let's say that I was put in charge of Lucasfilm tomorrow. I'd clean house immediately. Everybody there would be gone. Everyone. Every writer, everything, every book canceled, every show canceled. Everyone gets fired. From the top to the bottom. Gone. If you stood here and allowed Kathleen Kennedy to destroy Star Wars, get out. Out. Permanently. Then I would go and I would find, that's Star Wars theory. I would find some of the biggest Star Wars names out there who have read the EU. I would find, people like Ryan Kennel. I would find, these kind of people who have read the books, who studied the books, who know the books. I would have found I would have brought George Lucas back. And I said, fix it. We're going to fix Star Wars. And I would toss everything. Not Legends. I'm not going to change the story. I'm gone. Erased from. I would come out and be like, 7, 8, 9 never fucking happened. They're gone. There will be no more books. There will be no characters. The characters that are out there are already out there. Fine. I don't give a shit. I don't care about licensing stuff. I don't care about anything. It's gone. I would just burn it all. You have 6 movies. You have the EU. Bring the EU back from Legends. And then I would sit down with people. Yes, Carrie Fisher is gone. I would not do the right after. There are ways you could do it that wouldn't completely destroy their characters. And I would do animation. If I want to do 7, 8, 9 the real way, I'd probably do an animation movie with like Pixar people. Good animation. And that was how I fixed 7, 8, 9. But I would not do live action because the people are done. They're all just done. They don't give a shit about Star Wars anymore. That's the only way to fix it. And then after that, I would go into the past. I would pick someone to do Revan, and I would use, all those characters from the old Republic. I would jump forward, and I would just have Jaina, Jason, and those guys. I would pick new characters for them. Many years in the future, they're full adults, everything's going down right before, And if I could get Mark Hamill back in, I doubt he would, but if I could get him to come back as the actual Master Luke Skywalker, Grand Master of the Jedi Order, I would do it. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen as long as Kathleen Kennedy's in charge. She's the biggest piece of shit. She only gives a shit about herself and her legacy, which is literally destroying Lucasfilm. I don't know why George Lucas hired her. I believe what happened was that Disney was making a deal to buy Star Wars. They said, in this woke era, we need a female leader. We want to be woke. We want to be progressive. So we want to hire a female to take over. And George Lucas sat there and he thought, well, I was going to have Jon Favreau probably, or one of those take over. They're like, no, we want to, show how much we care about the female empowerment. Do you have a female on staff that would take over Star Wars? Fine. They're like, there's that secretary we had, Kathleen Kennedy. And they're like, good, take her. Congratulations. You put someone in charge of a company who has no idea what leadership is. It is obvious. It is absolutely obvious. She has no idea how to lead. To be a good leader, you must be a follower first. You must actually learn what is a good leader, how to take charge, how to keep people in line, how to inspire people instead of, I have an agenda. What she did, she had a fucking agenda. She's one of these fucking progressive piece of shit SJW Karens who had a fucking agenda. She saw her opportunity to better the world not by creating her own franchise and her own company. No, she took a company that a man built from nothing, and she burned it to the ground on purpose so that she can make it to whatever she wanted. And I don't know how Disney, as a massive company as it is allowing this. Man, if I was in charge of Disney, shit would be fucking way different. If I buy your fucking franchise, the main creator is the only one that could decanonize or canonize anything. Period. I would talk with George Lucas. I'd be like, hey, what was your story? This is his story, not hers, not ours. It is George Lucas's fucking story. He is the only fucking right to do anything with it. Yes, we can complain. We can say, hey, George, that wasn't that great. Sorry. That's fine. If the man can't handle criticism, that's his problem. I can handle criticism. People want to attack me, fine. You know what? Good on me. I was in the fucking Marine Corps. You think I didn't get criticized in the Marine Corps? I get my ass beat. I get criticized all the time. All the time. Your failures in the Marine Corps are never going to leave you. And the same thing with real life. Do I believe what's going to happen? I don't know. I think the only way to get Lucasfilm Star Wars to become the franchise it once was is you have to burn the sequel trilogy. You have to destroy that. Every copy, every DVD, take it off the shelves, burn it in a massive pile of ash, because that's have people then wait 10 years when people forgot that ever fucking happened. The Raylos won't forget, but fuck the Raylos. It's sick. Weird as fucking people. But yeah. Anyways. Get rid of that. Then what I would do is I would sit down with actual lore with George Lucas and be like, alright, Carrie Fisher's gone, unfortunately, and that's sad. A lot of people have said, well, that would get rid of her last performance. They fucked her character up. Leia was one of the greatest female characters of all time, and they turned her into Mary fucking Poppins, and that was beyond despicable. In the book, she becomes pretty much the number one, politician. She becomes one of the greatest politicians of their time. She helps lead into a new republic. Because of her, she helps take the broken pieces that the Empire left and rebuilds a better republic. But no, not anymore. Now she's just the general who got shot off an airplane, or an airship, somehow survived deep space without freezing instantly. I don't know if you guys know what would happen if you got thrown out into space. First, your eyeballs would explode from their eye sockets. You would literally you'd freeze and explode at pretty much the same time. Your eyes would pop out of their sockets. Yeah, it would be fucking one of the worst deaths I could ever imagine. And they just are like, nah, Supergirl. It was like, oh my god, that was one of the most embarrassing things I ever saw in I didn't even see that in theaters. I didn't watch it until it was on Netflix. Yeah, and that was like the second worst part of that movie, besides him throwing the fucking lightsabers. So as soon as he did that, I turned it off. I know how hard it was to get through that part, just that part of the movie, without just saying fuck this, and I walked away. I walked away so many times. I just could not. It took me almost 10 tries to finally get through that damn fucking movie. And The Rise of Skywalker was fucking embarrassing. That destroyed so much. God, it was so embarrassing. The whole trilogy just terrible. Would it be smart to get rid of it? Would they piss a lot of people off? Yeah, but they pissed a lot of people off when they fucking threw away the EU. Should they make them legends? Absolutely not. They should just get rid of it. Cancel the books. The books are coming out right now, fine. Let them come out. No, you don't know about that. Just cancel them. Pay off the art. Pay what the work they've done. Shut that shit down. No more movie books. No more comics. Nothing that ties this sequel trilogy to anything else. And if you were planning on putting the Mandalorian into this trilogy, Mando will die. Mandalorian is literally the only thing Star Wars has besides the Clone Wars that would save Star Wars. And the Clone Wars are over. So now what do you have? What do you have? Nothing. You have Mandalorian. One Disney Plus TV show. That's it. You're literally hanging on Baby Yoda. The little thread of Baby Yoda. That's all it's left. It's a little spider thread. And Star Wars is hanging. And Kathleen Kennedy is doing this. And Jon Favreau is underneath it going, no, fuck, no. They would have to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. I don't think Star Wars will survive until next year. If they allow this Headland lady to make another series, literally Mando is the only thing fans are waiting on. That, some of the TV shows that were supposed to come out that were canceled, I don't think any of those things are being made. I haven't heard anything. And I don't even know about the Mando. If they try to connect the Mandalorian to the sequel trilogy, I have a feeling they're going to. Before Kathleen Kennedy's gone, she's going to make sure she ties in the sequel trilogy somehow into the Mandalorian. They're going to discover like a baby Rey, or they're going to discover something, and that's it. It is over. Because the people who 95, I'm going to say 90% of fans, real Star Wars fans, do not support the sequel trilogy. You got the 10% who are not real Star Wars fans, but they're the Disney Star Wars fans because they just came in when Disney, and they somehow rejoice from Rian Johnson, his piece of shit. Kathleen Kennedy is going to do everything in her power to make sure that this franchise survives, because it's all she has. And she's not looking very well either, because if I don't remember right, who was it that came out? I'm trying to think. I know George Lucas probably hates her guts right now. Spielberg. He came out saying something negative about her, like she was a terrible secretary and she never let anybody, she like interrupted people constantly. She had to have the last word. She's one of those people. She's a Karen. God, it's fucking, but yeah. I think I rammed on. Star Wars used to be the greatest one of my favorite franchises, and it was the thing I was most connected with my father. It connected my family quite a lot. You know, this is the thing my father fell in love with, and because of his love, he brought me and my brothers into it. Well, I should say my brother, because I don't think my youngest brother or my sister have any care for Star Wars whatsoever. But me and Nathan, brother Nathan, we loved Star Wars because of our dad. He collected all the books. We read the books. We loved the universe Star Wars, and we wanted to see it grow and become so much more. And I was so excited when Disney bought the Lucasfilm. I didn't know they threw away the EU. I had no idea. I've said this before. I brought in my 2 stepkids. You know, my youngest one's still a baby. No, she wasn't even born yet. I think me and my wife, pretty much started dating, and I had my 2 stepkids that I took to the theater. So excited was I to bring them into Star Wars, because they saw the original trilogy, they liked it, and they liked the prequels. But they didn't have the deep love that my father and I had for Star Wars. And I wanted to see, I was talking to him in the car about, I would have to go buy the EU books soon. I didn't call them EU. I was like, oh man, we need to go buy the Star Wars books so that I can get you guys to start reading those. Because my dad sold them a long time ago because he fell out of Star Wars during, what book was that? Leia's, it was something to do with Leia and her, her getting married or something. I can't remember. It was something. And my dad hated that book, and that book ruined it for him, unfortunately. But he still loved the original stuff. And I went in and I sat down, and Ray appeared. I was more confused than fucking anyone. My kids were like, I thought that was supposed to be a Jaina and a Jason. I'm like, well, I don't fucking know. And I looked it up after outside the theaters. I was looking on my phone trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. When I found the information that they trashed the EU. And I said, what the fuck? Why would you trash some of the greatest characters ever written? What was the point? The point was they were lazy. She hired a bunch of people who didn't understand Star Wars, didn't give a shit about Star Wars. They never read the books. They never cared about the movies. All they were was a bunch of activist ladies who want to put women in charge. Which, you had Jaina. You had fucking Mara Jade. You had Leia. You had so many good characters. But no. Nope. They said, fuck that. We're going to do what we want. We're not going to follow what people have loved for over 40 years. We're going to do something different because fuck the fans. Fuck the people who supported this franchise and made Lucasfilm rich. Worth buying for $4 billion. Disney would have touched them if this shit was happening now. Can you imagine if that shit was happening now and Disney thought about buying it? Disney would fucking not touch this shit. They'd be like, no, we don't need that. Our shareholders do not want that. And Disney has got to answer their shareholders pretty soon. So I have a feeling that's why Kathleen Kennedy knows she's done. Now she's fighting like hell to try to cement her bullshit forever. And if that happens, Star Wars is dead. It won't survive. I give it like 5 more years, and if they can't make The Mandalorian, if they attach The Mandalorian, that's dead. So that string will pop. And I don't know what they're going to do. Because if Mandalorian fails, if the second season bombs, they have nothing. They have no movies that we know of. They have a Rogue Squadron game coming out, but I don't trust that word shit. Because it's EA. And EA has a fucking problem when it comes to microtransactions. So I have a feeling you want an X-Wing? Yeah, cool, yeah. We're gonna, $10. $10 to get the X-Wing. Or grind for 50 hours. Oh, you want an A-Wing? Oh, 100 hours. No, I don't even care anymore. I'm at that point where Star Wars is just, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't feel dead inside when it comes to Star Wars. There's a hole where it used to be. The Clone Wars were okay. That last season was alright. But I just didn't care. Like, it didn't shock me like I was hoping. Like, it didn't bring me any joy. It was just like, okay, that was alright. I felt no different than the Rebels. Because they destroyed Luke's character. They destroyed Leia's character. They destroyed Han Solo's character. Nothing before can fix what they did to him in the future. They ruined the entire story, the core story of Star Wars, which was the whole story of Anakin Skywalker, his rise, his fall, and his redemption. They completely trashed that. They're like, yeah, well, we got nothing better, so let's bring out the Emperor. You guys realize that's going to really ruin Anakin's sacrifice. Who? I can literally see her going, who's that? Vader. Who's Vader? The black guy in the helmet? Oh, okay. I don't care. Fuck it, we got nothing else. Why not? Nobody cares. And the ones that do, fuck them, they're not women. And then they find out there are women in the Phantom Menace who are very vocal about how they despise this shit. Which, hail to all the females of the Phantom Menace. We love you girls, and we're glad that you're here. But, yeah. I know it's been a while since I made a Star Wars video, because I don't know. I don't just care anymore. It's kind of like what I feel about Doctor Who. Doctor Who was great. You know, I didn't get into it. I didn't watch the original stuff, but I watched the new stuff on Netflix. I mean, my wife loved it. We really started watching it like crazy, and we were enjoying it for a long time. And then they turned her to a female, and my wife was like, "Well, that's fucking dumb." It's funny how these companies are like, we want to represent females. You know how many females despise this shit? My wife hated it. She was like, well, that's dumb. I like the old Doctor. She liked a couple of the Doctors. I didn't like the little, bow tie guy. I thought he was a little annoying. I like bow ties. No one gives a fuck about bow ties. Yeah. But, yeah, they were like, no, we want to do this whole fake woke bullshit. And I call it woke bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. It's literally like, can we make it look like we give a shit, but we really don't? So we're going to fake virtue signal because there's some people on Twitter who we want to make go, yay! With blue hair and fucking weird. And overweight, and they scream and they screech whenever you fucking talk. How dare you! Or too much fucking drugs to even know what the fuck is upside up and down is, Oh, dear God. They were going for that crowd that was in that video of the movie theater where they're like, yay, Ray and their kiss, and then he dies, and they're like, I fucking hate Star Wars. That's who they were going for. That was the crowd they wanted. Who didn't give a shit about Star Wars before, but the only reason I cared because it was like Twilight. Fuck Twilight. I saw that shit. It was the worst shit I ever had to go through in my life. My wife made me go through that. Watch all the Twilights. That was when we were dating because I was going to make her go through all the Lord of the Rings. That was a deal, which she fucking didn't do. I know you're watching now. Nah, she never watched my videos. Yeah, my wife was like, yeah, I'll watch the extended versions of Lord of the Rings if you watch all the Twilights. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. It can't be that bad. The first movie was over. I'm like, she's like, time for a second one. I'm like, oh, God. And then I put in my movies. I'm like, finally. And she'd be like, I'm like, what the fuck? At least I stayed awake. I love my wife, don't get me wrong, but she still has not watched The Lord of the Rings fully through. I don't know why, but she's not as big a nerd like I am for that stuff, which is fine. She has her little thing, and I have mine, but yeah. Anyways, thank you for coming. I know I rambled on a little bit, but, yeah. Sometimes you just need to vent. Do I believe that this will happen? Not soon. I don't even think, I think it'll be a while after Jon Favreau takes over before he's like, I got nowhere to go. He has no creativity freedom. He either has to be like, just ignore it while he's creating The Mandalorian, because eventually it's going to run smack into the First Order shit. And if they put the First Order there, it's done. I have no care. I will not watch The Mandalorian anymore. I would walk away. Fuck Disney. Fuck Lucasfilm. I'm done. I'm just done. Done. I don't give a shit anymore. The only reason I like the Mando is because it was actually, some of the episodes were decent. That's kind of sad. They weren't all perfect, but a lot of, some of the episodes were actually really good. But you'd have to make 20 episodes for me to really like it. I want 20 episodes. Full hour, 20 episode seasons. That way, later on when they're all done, I can binge watch the shit out of them, and I have a long time to watch them. I can enjoy them, and if they're good. And 20 episodes, you got a long, good story you can fit into that. You don't have all these problems where you're trying to shove fucking shit in there. That's low. They had 8 episodes, right? I think it was like 8, maybe 10 episodes of Mandalorian. But there was so much filler in that. I was just like, what the fuck? There were 10 episodes. You'd think you'd have to hit the shit. And there were 30 to 40 minute episodes. No, you can't. No. Like, now, I hate this 8 episode crap. Look, Game of Thrones did this shit. I hated it. I want 20 episodes in a season. I want to know that I have 20 hours of watch coming before me, so I can really sit down and really delve into something. But that's just me. Anyways, thank you for coming. Well, I'm glad you guys stayed. If you stayed and watched the full video, thank you. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like, and share. I am just, a humble man here trying to bring the fandom something new. Since we can't rely on Star Wars, we can't rely on Doctor Who, we can't rely on anything anymore, we are no choice but to create our own shit. So thank you, and I hope you all have a great day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and be good to each other. Meter Sphere out.